So a bunch of teenagers are about to get seriously rich. They're not waiting around for anyone's permission to get started, and they're building real businesses straight from their bedrooms. So, what's the secret? What do they know that you don't? They're using a simple 4-stage framework that anyone can follow. And in this video, I'm not only going to break down that exact framework for you, but I'll also show you how I used it to turn my YouTube channel into a real business. Think about the old way teenagers made money. It's a script we all know by heart. Flipping burgers, bagging groceries, washing cars, maybe a summer job as a camp counselor. And those jobs are valuable. They teach responsibility, why it's important to show up on time. For decades, that was pretty much the entire universe of team income. You traded your time for a fixed minimum wage. Your potential to earn had a hard ceiling. Sure, you could work more hours, but you couldn't change how much each of those hours were worth. You had no leverage, no scale, and no power. No real asset was being built. You were just a cog in somebody else's machine. And the second you stop working, the money stops coming. But over the last few years, a quiet revolution has been happening. This has been sped up by the creator economy and all these new online platforms. A new generation is figuring out the internet isn't just for consuming things. It's a universe of money-making opportunities. Now, I know some of y'all are probably thinking, this sounds like another get-rich fantasy. You see the headlines about teen millionaires, and you just assume it's luck, hype, or some secret they're just never going to share. But you might be thinking, I don't have any special skills, and I have zero money to start. Or maybe, who would ever listen to me? Those are the exact mental barriers that keep most people stuck. They see the finish line, but can't imagine taking the first step. That's why this video is different. We're going to ignore the hype and focus on the system. It's a 4-stage framework I call the online wealth wheel. It's a predictable path that can take literally anyone, from a complete beginner, a consumer, to an entrepreneur who owns a scalable business. It's not magic, and it's definitely not easy, but it is simple. And the best part, I can prove it works because you're looking at the proof right now. This YouTube channel, this one you're watching at this very moment, I run ads on because I'm in the YouTube Partner Program and I make money off of it. So stick with me because I'm going to peel back the curtain on the entire process. Before we jump into the stages, you have to get the main idea behind the online wealth wheel. The best way to think about it is like learning to ride a bike. You don't just hop on and immediately start doing tricks. First, you try to balance, then you pedal, probably pretty awkwardly, and then you start to gain some confidence and control, and finally, you can ride wherever you want, maybe even with no hands. Each stage builds on the one before it. Skipping a stage is like trying to pop a wheelie before you even learn how to pedal. You're just going to crash. Most people who fail at making money online fail because they're trying to jump straight to the end. They want stage 4 results without putting in stage 2 and 3 work. This framework is your roadmap to avoid that crash. Stage 1, the observer. This is where everybody starts. The vast majority of people live their entire lives in this stage. The observer is basically a consumer. They scroll through TikTok, binge Netflix, go down endless YouTube rabbit holes. They are passive. Their time is spent making the platforms and creators they follow richer and richer. But they don't capture any of the value for themselves. The defining trait of the observer is that their online activity is a liability, not an asset. It costs them their most valuable resource, time. The biggest struggle for someone here is feeling totally overwhelmed. The idea of starting an online business feels scary. You hear about drop shipping, affiliate marketing, SMMA, content creation, coding, and it all just swirls together into a big confusing mess. And because you don't know where to start, you do nothing. You stay an observer, stuck in paralysis by analysis. The goal of stage 1 isn't to launch a 7-figure empire. It's not even to make a single dollar. The goal is microscopic. It's made to be tiny, but fundamental. Shift from being a passive consumer to an active learner. That's it. You need to go from asking, what should I watch? 2, how does this actually work? And here's an actionable step for stage 1. Pick one platform and one skill to analyze, not master, just analyze. If you spend all your time on YouTube, great, that's your platform. For the next 30 days, your job isn't to just watch YouTube videos for fun. Your job is to become a detective. When you click on a video, ask yourself, why? Was it the title? Was it the thumbnail? Open a simple Google Doc and start to log this. Write down the title of every video you click. What patterns do you notice? What colors do you see? Are there any numbers? Are they asking you a question? Using power words like stop or never? Simply, to do good on YouTube, you need a good title and thumbnail and hook and a good video. But really, if you're trying to start out, just worry about your packaging and your hook. I'll make a whole separate video because they honestly do go together. Once the video starts, focus on the first 30 seconds. That's the hook. How did this creator grab your attention? Did they make a bold promise? Was there a relatable problem? Did you get hit with a shocking statistic? Write that down. Watch how they structure their video. Notice the pacing, the editing. What text do they use on screen? Where do they use it? You're gonna be a dissecting machine just to figure out how it works. A lot of people on YouTube want to run a YouTube business and hire people to do all the hard work for them. But if you don't know what's good and bad, how can you tell somebody what to do and then make the right decision? But at the same time, you're not trying to be a world-class expert. You're just trying to understand the basics. For right now, this skill should be something you can learn for free on the platform you're analyzing. If you choose YouTube, your skill could be video editing for beginners in CapCut or thumbnail design in Canva. Both of these have versions and are totally loaded with tutorials right here on YouTube. Your goal is to spend just 30 minutes a day watching tutorials on one of these specific skills. You're not trying to get a client. You're not trying to launch a channel. You are simply planting one seed. You're literally rewiring your brain. Instead of your social media feed being a distraction, it becomes your textbook, your superpower. Every post, every video, every ad is a new lesson. This subtle shift in your consumption to analysis is the single most important step in this whole framework. It costs you literally nothing but a little intention. And it's the step that moves you from the 99% of people to the starting line of 1%. But making it to the starting line is one thing. Surviving the first lap is another. The next stage is where the journey gets truly difficult. And it's where most people's dreams die. But there's a specific reason why they quit. And a simple mental switch that will ensure that you don't. We'll cover that next. Stage 2, the apprentice, inconsistent action, and the grind. Welcome to the hardest stage on the wheel. Stage 2, the apprentice, is where everyone quits. This is the proving ground. In stage 1, you learn the rules of the game. In stage 2, you start playing the game, and you're going to be terrible. This stage is defined by 3 things: inconsistent action, constant trial and error, and getting close to 0 results. The apprentice has started doing. They've taken the analysis from stage 1 and are trying to create something. They posted their first YouTube video and it only gets 17 views. They designed a few graphics and put their services on a freelance site only to hear crickets. They try to hop on a TikTok trend and it completely flops. They might make a tiny bit of money, like $10 from a survey site or a 1 big off gig, but it feels like a fluke. It's not repeatable. The core pain is here, is the feeling that you are screaming into an empty void. You're putting in so much work. You're trying to apply what you learned, but the feedback is brutal. There's no positive reinforcement. Your brain, which is wired for dopamine, hits from likes and comments, is getting absolutely nothing. Every failed post, every ignored email, every day with 0 sales feels like personal rejection. The urge to quit and to go back to the comfort of being an observer is massive. You'll think, this isn't working. I'm just wasting my time. I'm clearly not cut out for this. This is an emotional filter that weeds out anyone who isn't serious. So listen up. The goal of stage 2 is not to get rich. It's not even to be successful. The one and only goal of stage 2 is consistency. You have to fall in love with the process, not the results. You have to completely detach your ego from the outcome. The action plan for this stage is to create a non-negotiable schedule for production, not a schedule for success, a schedule for reps. If you're posting on YouTube, I recommend that you post every single day, even though it might not be your best video, so that you can get practice making new titles and thumbnails, hooks, and all around videos, and you'll get way faster at editing. And because of the way that trickle down views work, yesterday's video will push more drive to your channel, and then you're kind of creating a content farm where people can funnel in, as an example for a site like YouTube. So say I will post a YouTube video every Saturday. If I can't post every day, I'll just post once a week on Saturday. Or I will write a post on X every single day. That's a little bit easier. Or I will send 5 personalized outreach emails every weekday. The quality is going to be bad at first. That's okay. The point is just to get out your first 50 videos. It's not to go viral. If you look at all these channels that have like 1 million subs, a lot of them have way over 1,000 videos posted. So how are you supposed to be in that spot with only 5 videos posted? So learn how to make 50 videos. From the point of your first 100 outreach emails, you don't land a huge client because you don't know how to write a good email yet. You have to just keep writing the emails to learn how to do that. You're gathering data. Each failure is a data point telling you what the market does and doesn't want. The YouTuber who posted 50 videos that averaged 30 views each week isn't a failure. They're a student with 50 data points on what doesn't work that is infinitely more valuable than the observer who has 0 data points. During this stage, you should be experimenting. Try becoming TikTok Shop affiliate. Try the only use products you actually use though. Find small creators you admire and offer the clip their videos for free just to get some experience. And build relationships, connections, join Discord communities, offer the help, moderate. You can look up DM Scales on YouTube. He makes great videos if you're trying to grow your YouTube. At this stage, you're building a skill stack through real world practice. Even if you're not getting paid at first, you're trading your time for experience and portfolio pieces. This is the sweat equity phase. It's the grind. Embrace it. The grind is the most legendary part of the whole journey. The only way out of stage 2 is to understand the reward isn't views or money, it's skill. And you are building with every single rep. But how do you know when you've done enough reps? All that failure is building towards a single moment, a signal. In that noise, it's the breakthrough that finally turns your grinding into predictable income. How do you spot that signal? And more importantly, what do you do in the first 24 hours after you find it? That's what separates the quitters from the earners. Stage 3, the practitioner. Consistency and real income. After surviving the brutal desert of stage 2, you finally make it to the oasis of stage 3. This is the practitioner. This is the breakthrough. This is where you can start making real, consistent money online. Now, let's be realistic. Getting to this stage isn't a guarantee. And for many, the road to making meaningful income can be long and unpredictable. But those who push through and grind, this is where it starts to click. A practitioner has found consistency. Their actions are not random anymore. They're a habit. More importantly, they found a signal in all that noise. Through the hundreds of reps in stage 2, they discovered something that works. Maybe it's a specific style of video that resonates, a niche that has a real audience and low competition, a freelance service that clients are happy to pay for. The income is no longer a fluke. It's becoming predictable. They know if they post a certain type of video, it'll probably get a certain amount of views. And they know if they send out 10 good proposals, they'll probably land 1 or 2 clients. Matter of fact, they're not a millionaire, but they might be making a few hundred or even a few $1,000s a month. The new pain point that shows up here is actually a good problem to have. Overwhelm from success. You're getting busy. You have client work. Videos need to be edited. Comments need to be answered. You feel like you're on a treadmill, and the only way to make more money is to run faster. You're trading a lot of your time for money again, and you can feel the ceiling getting closer and closer. The goal of stage 3 is to systemize and optimize. You need to stop doing random things and double down on what's proven to work. If you're a freelance video editor and you found that a real estate agent pays you well and on time, your focus should be finding more real estate agents, not trying to sell your services to gamers. If you're a YouTuber and you discovered your videos on historical events get 10 times more views than your vlogs, then it's the best time to be a history channel, right? Like that's your niche. This is where you build your first simple systems. A system can be as basic as a checklist for editing a video, a template for replying to clients, or a content calendar planned out for the month. These aren't complex business processes. They're just simple tools to make your life easier. You're shifting from being an artist who creates only when inspiration hits to a professional who has a process. This is also the stage where you can really lean into those high-value roles perfect for teens. Let's break a few down. Content redistribution editor. In stage 2, you were clipping videos for free. Now, in stage 3, you're a practitioner. You have a portfolio. You can go to creators and say, hey, I can take your 1-hour podcast and turn it into 10 high-performing TikToks that you can use on whatever platform. 5 Instagram Reels and 3 YouTube Shorts. You can now charge a monthly retainer for that because you're solving a huge problem for buying creators. You can be a Discord community manager. You learn the basics by volunteering. Now you manage and paid communities. You know how to engage an audience, run events, and keep the vibe positive. This is a critical role in the creator economy, and good managers are always in demand. You could be a niche scriptwriter. You practice writing on X or a personal blog or for your YouTube videos back in stage 2. You figured out how to write in a way that keeps people hooked. Now you specialize. You become the go-to scriptwriter for finance YouTubers or history TikTokers. You have a portfolio for successful scripts, and creators will pay you to save them hours of research and writing. In stage 3, you're a skilled craftsman. You have a valuable skill and you know who needs it, and you're delivering on the results, and you're earning real income built not on luck, but on the foundation of hundreds of hours of focused work. But here's the trap. The practitioner is still trading their time for money. They've built themselves a high-paying job, not a business, and a job has a ceiling. This is the final stage. The final stage is about shattering the ceiling completely, using 3 specific kinds of leverage that most people never even think about. Stage 4, the entrepreneur. Leverage, scale, and wealth. Stage 4 is the final evolution. This is where you go from being a practitioner to an entrepreneur. The practitioner has a high-paying job. The entrepreneur builds a machine that works for them. A practitioner's income is still tied to the hours they put in. If they take a 2 weeks vacation, their income plummets. An entrepreneur can take 2 weeks vacation and might actually make more money. And the secret is because the systems they built keep running without them. It's really important to see this stage as the end game, the goal you're aiming for. This is a path taken by a smaller group of established creators and freelancers, not the starting point for a beginner. The practitioner's income eventually hits a ceiling. You simply can't edit more videos, manage more communities, or write more scripts in a day. The pain point of stage 4 is realizing your professional effort isn't the bottleneck anymore. The lack of leverage is. To grow, you have to stop being the one who does all of the work. The goal of stage 4 is to leverage and scale. You use your resources, both time and money, to build systems that can grow way beyond your individual contribution. This is the shift from linear growth to exponential, where you work 1 more hour and get 3 hours of pay. There are 3 main types of leverage you can use. 1, leverage of labor. This is the most common one. You just start outsourcing tasks, like a video editor who's swamped with clients hires another talented editor. This frees them up to focus on what they really need to do, generate ideas, and be on camera. 2, leverage capital. This is just using money to make more money. You have to take profits from your stage 3 work and reinvest them. This could mean running paid ads for your freelance services. It could be buying better equipment to seriously level up your quality and speed. It could be investing in software that automates the parts of your workflow that you used to hate or would just take you hours to get done. 3, leverage of media and code. This is the holy grail. You create an asset that can be sold, consumed an infinite number of times with almost 0 extra cost. The freelance web designer in stage 3 creates a full online course teaching their exact method for building sites for local businesses. They build it once and it can be sold to thousands of people. The YouTuber with a loyal audience creates a digital guide or a premium template their viewers can buy. This creates a revenue stream that is completely disconnected from their time. This is called passive income. The entrepreneur is no longer just a creator or a freelancer. They're an architect of a business. They're thinking about profit margins, customer acquisition costs, and lifetime value. They're building a team. They're creating a brand. a media company that has a value of its own. This is where you move. From making a living to building a real, sustainable wealth. And it all starts by realizing you have to graduate from being an observer to being an owner. If this framework is clicking for you and you want to see more deep dives into each stage, especially how to find that first skill in stage 1 or land your first client in stage 2, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. We're building the whole community over here, future entrepreneurs, people trying to do better in their life, make more money. So if that sounds like you, subscribe. And now I could talk about framework all day, but I know the theory is cheap. So I want to make this real by showing you exactly how I used Online Wealth Wheel to build the very channel you're watching now, as well as many more. This isn't a hypothetical example. This is an actual journey. But for the few that push through, for those that embrace the struggle and build their systems, the upside is life-changing. And you're not just earning money, you're putting value to your own life. And in the end, the biggest difference between the teenagers who are about to get rich and the ones that are about to stay observers isn't talent or money or luck. It's permission. They're not waiting for their diploma, a certificate, a boss, their parents, or some gatekeeper to tell them to be ready. They're giving it to themselves. That permission to start, permission to be bad at something new, permission to fail in the public eye, permission to learn from their mistakes, and permission to eventually succeed entirely on their own terms. The tools are all around you. The path is now clear. The only question left is, will you give yourself permission to take the first step? Thank you so much for watching. If you got any value from today's video, please leave a like. It is more appreciated than you know, and subscribe.